This video was created to help you become familiar with reimbursements, your continuing medical education fund, and how payroll at Contra Costa will work. In this video, I will cover payroll, things to know about your CME fund and reimbursements, what can and cannot be reimbursed, how to get reimbursed, provide examples for different kinds of reimbursements, and supply you with a resource for any questions you might have. Let's begin. When it comes to payroll at Contra Costa, you typically will not have to fill out a timesheet while you are with us, but there are some important details to know. Additional duty pay, also known as callback, is when you work for another resident who is out sick and you are entitled to extra pay up to $80 per hour. In order to see the additional duty hours on your paycheck, you will need to fill out the Jeopardy form with the following information. Please make sure when you are filling out the Jeopardy form that you specify the start to finish time for the shift you covered. For your paycheck, you are able to have direct deposit set up, and your first chance to sign up for it will be during orientation. If you decide on it later, just come visit us in the office. When you sign up for direct deposit, be aware you will receive paper checks for 2 pay cycles before it kicks in. Those paper checks will go to your mailbox in the residency office. By default, you receive pay for each entire month on the 10th calendar day of every month. You may also opt in to receive an advance of 1/3 of your paycheck on the 25th each month. Lastly, be aware that the county automatically puts a portion of your pay in a retirement account for you. This account can be rolled over to any future retirement savings account you may open after your time at Contra Costa. Your continuing medical education fund is an allowance with a yearly allotted amount to go towards your educational expenses. You will receive 4 allotments during your 3 years of training. Each allotment should be $1,150, though the amount may change depending on your Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU. You will also receive a separate allocation of $1,175 to be applied only towards license fees. Patricia in the office will help you properly apply this licensing fund. You will receive your first allotment around the time you arrive in mid-June. Your second allotment will be granted in January of your intern year. Your third allotment will be granted in January of your second year. Your fourth allotment will be granted in January of your third year. This amount is often used towards the board exam before graduation. Note, you are allowed to roll over unused funds only one time and cannot have more than a total of 2 allotments available in 1 year. This one time usually happens during your second allotment because you might not have yet completely utilized your first allotment, if at all. However, any amount over $2,300 will be forfeited. The following is a list of what can be reimbursed. Mileage, computer or laptop once per calendar year, USMLE Step 3 exam, PDAs including iPhones and other smartphones, journal subscriptions such as QBanks or podcast, conference registration fees, professional training fees including course materials, medical textbooks, dental and medical equipment, including but not limited to loupes, stethoscopes, and POCUS equipment, travel and lodging for conferences. Airfare is not included. The following is a list of what will not be reimbursed. PDA or smartphone accessories, with the exception of memory cards, scrubs, and international conferences and courses. All reimbursements now get submitted through the Workday system. You will receive access information from the Workday team after you become an employee. Once you have your Workday credentials, you will be asked to include it on our internal spreadsheet so that we may help you with the more complicated reimbursements and also ensure approval for each reimbursement. All expenses must have a proof of payment, which is a bank or credit card statement. Please black out any notations of your account number. You may also black out any unrelated items on your statement. You will have to provide a copy of the receipt showing a 0 balance due or a copy of an online receipt or invoice that clearly shows method of payment. When it comes to conferences and training courses, you must provide the aforementioned documents as well as a completed training authorization and reimbursement form. You will also need to submit proof of completion in the form of a certificate or a letter. All educational expenses that are computer or tech items must have a professional development reimbursement request form. An example of this will be presented towards the end of the video. All professional development and TR1 forms are still needing to be filled out and emailed over to the Assistant Residency Coordinator and her assistant. Please CC them on both of your emails. Alternatively, you may drop off a printed copy to the Assistant Residency Coordinator or her assistant. Any additional reimbursement forms needed will be entered and finalized by the Assistant Residency Coordinator. You're only able to submit a demand form for expenses incurred 1 month at a time. For example, all expenses incurred in July can go on a form, but expenses incurred in August must go on a separate form. Mileage and other expenses incurred during the same month can be included together on one demand form. It is also important to submit all requests after the end of each month. Finance will not accept an expense demand prior to the end of the claim month. Finance will disallow any expenses that are 12 months or older. All expense reimbursements will be paid in the form of a paper check and be placed in your mailbox either on the 10th or the 25th of the month. Finance does not offer direct deposit for reimbursements. As a heads up, all reimbursements are taxable, which means it will change your taxable income and cause your net pay to be less than usual during the pay period. For example, if you buy a computer with your CME fund, one of your next paychecks will include the reimbursed cost as income, and thus more money will be taken out for taxes. This might seem complicated, but it will start to make sense when you start using the system. You are always welcome to ask us in the administrative office for support if you have questions or concerns. Here's what it looks like to fill out a professional development reimbursement form for educational expenses that are computer or tech items. Initial next to each of the affirmation statements as appropriate. In the case for a computer, you would initial next to each statement. Below, fill out your name, signature, resident year, and phone number. Our organization number is 6544. Use the Contra Costa Regional Medical Center's address for work address. We can help you with the reimbursement justification comment. In this case, improved patient care access is sufficient. You will need to keep your receipt and ensure it has your name, item name, and total price. When you turn in your request to our office staff, please provide a copy of the receipt. Lastly, you should provide us with a credit card or bank statement of the purchase similar to what is shown on screen as proof of payment. Again, make sure to black out your account number and other unrelated details. The next example is for an educational exam, in this case, the USMLE Step 3 exam. Fill out your name, HSD residency for department, current date, name of educational program, in this case United States Medical Licensing Exam, program description, in this case Medical Licensing Exam. We in the office can help you with this description if you are unsure. And the dates of the program. Step 3 will usually take 2 days. Include the program's general scheduled hours. Since Step 3 is required for your medical license, check the box next to required training. Also, check the box next to on my own time. Add the price of the exam next to registration in the next section. Then write the total amount on the line next to total reimbursement requested. Lastly, don't forget to sign on the line above signature of employee. Once that is all finished, please bring all documents related to the request to the office so we can complete final steps for the reimbursement. Again, you will need to keep your receipt and ensure that it has your name, item name, and total amount. When you turn in your request to our office staff, provide us with a credit card or bank statement of the purchase, similar to what is shown on screen as proof of payment. As before, make sure to block out your account number and other unrelated details. You will also need to provide proof of completion. For step 3, this is in the form of your passing exam score. Here is a view of the Workday system interface. Keep the following steps in mind when requesting reimbursement. You first must set your payment elections found under the expense section in the menu before any request can be made. You only need to do this once, and the only payment option is in the form of a check. To request reimbursement, you will need to go to the Expenses section again and select Create Expense Report. For the rest of the steps described, we will use mileage expenses as our example. In the new expense report, under Memo, enter the month and year mileage occurred. For the report date field, put the last day of the month you listed in the memo. Select Add and input details for each day mileage was incurred. It should look something like the screen on the right. Keep in mind, quantity should be miles driven, and the memo field should state destinations from, to, and from for the entire day. After you have done this for each day mileage was incurred during the month, do not submit, but choose Save for later. Then let us know your report is ready and we'll do the rest. When the status on Workday says paid, it means a check has been sent out for you. We will provide you with further guidance and resources as you begin to request reimbursements. That covers it all for payroll, CME, and reimbursement information. For any further questions or support, please come visit us in the office or reach out to us anytime at support.fmr@cchealth.org.